time has come for everyone to clean up their own backyard.
It's becoming more and more apparent day after day, even after it's been proven multiple times that after Donald Trump lost the election and the continuous recounts for the last 9 months pushed by Donald Trump supporters is that they are just not willing to accept the facts. The simple fact that Donald Trump lost the election, that there is no evidence whatsoever that Joe Biden or any of the Democrats cheated, regardless of how many Google searches Donald Trumpers want to use. But it hasn't stopped any of them from believing the lie. And it's becoming very dangerous. Take the Trump supporter, I think you already know him by now, so I won't even use his name. This guy is so trapped in his mind that Donald Trump is the winner and Joe Biden is a cheater. I mean, listen to what he has to say.
This is probably not the last time I'll tell you this, but Joe cheated. Joe cheated, and you don't care. Just be honest with it. You hated Trump so much that you don't care that the Democrats cheated so that you can have your way. So that mean old Orange Man is gone. No! Orange Man mean tweets. No! I'd much rather have a fucking retard like myself. That's you. You would rather have a fucking retard at the White House than get mean tweets. So this ends when I say it ends. And I don't say it's over yet.
Wow. I'm going to just say it straight here. You're right. I did hate Trump, but not because of the tweets, although that's a small factor in him, a very small factor. I hated Trump because he represented my country, and he did a terrible job at representing my country. Every single day he was president, it was something. He wasn't getting respected enough. No one loved him enough. Nobody kissed his ass enough. You're right. I did hate Trump on those reasons. But I hated him because he was a terrible, terrible, terrible president. Not just because of the tweets, although a lot of it had to do with some of those tweets. A lot of it had to do with them. But when it comes down to it, and here's the thing, calling me a retard. Now, he said that he has a son who's autistic, that he has a son who's mentally disabled. This coming from a man who has a son, who claims to have a son that has mental problems. And calling me a retard, calling Joe Biden a retard, why? Because he doesn't scream into the mic? He doesn't wave his hands every once in a while? He doesn't act like a fucking child every time someone says something wrong about him? I'd rather have a retard as president than what we had the last 4 years. Now, the list as to why is long. COVID-19 topping them off. What happened on January 6th? That's a very close second. But then he comes off like this secret evil genius plan of his to somehow get Joe Biden out of office by impeachment. Yeah. I mean, not because he cheated the win, just because it's Joe Biden and his little plan is to get him and Kamala Harris out. Listen to this.
You know, Joe and Kamala is probably both going to be impeached just as soon as the House gets flipped back red here in a few months, 2022. We'll have control of the House again. We have control of the Senate. Yeah, your boy's done. He cheated. Cammie cheated. Nancy helped cover it up. They're all going to be out on their asses. You're on the wrong side of history, my friend. You might want to rethink this.
So his little plan is if, and this is a strong if, considering the fact that no one trusts the Republican Party anymore, that somehow the House and the Senate are flipped, their immediate goal is to impeach Joe Biden. Seriously, does this guy really believe that? You guys you Republicans wouldn't even impeach Donald Trump when evidence was screaming at you to do so. And as for me being on the wrong side of history, I'd rather be on the wrong side of history than on your side. And your side, honestly, it's evil, plain and simple. What kind of people, on a whim, just because one man lost an election, what kind of people would actually attack their own damn country, their own capital, because their man lost a United States election after it's been proven over and over again by cyber specialists and constitutional I can't even think, by constitutional experts, that no one cheated, that no one on the Democrat side cheated to win this election. But the evidence against Donald Trump and his supporters, his lawyers, his people in the House and the Senate, evidence is mounting against them. But you don't want to talk about that because, Joe Biden's a bad guy. The facts are not on your side, son. They never have been. And at this point, I don't think they ever will be. The facts are not on your side. And as for calling me a retard and calling Joe Biden a retard, here's the thing. I prefer a retard, any retard in office right now than what we had for the last 4 fucking years. A man who is so stupid that he asks multiple times why this country won't use nuclear weapons if we have them. A man who is so completely inept that he undercuts scientific and medical experts during a medical pandemic that has already cost hundreds of thousands of lives in this country. A man so incredibly evil that he flaunts his affairs in front of the entire country. And people like this guy, and this is really coming from him, people like this guy high five and say he's lucky. He's got lucky to get all that ass. His words, not mine. So, you want to call Joe Biden a retard. What does that make Trump? Seriously, what did that make Trump the last 4 years? Who ripped this country completely apart to the point where he actually had his own supporters attack the United States Capitol just because he lost the election. Where his supporters are flying fuck Biden flags on their trucks. We were sitting on eggshells 2 weeks ago, this past weekend, 2 weeks ago, this month in September, because we were all worried another January 6th attack was going to happen. This guy even made the threat that January 6th was nothing compared to what may be coming if Donald Trump isn't reelected or if the count fails. Now, I'm not a vindictive person when I'm making this video, but here's the thing. I even warned the son of a bitch that I was going to use his voice on my video here. Not because I'm vindictive, because I want everyone to see the mentality of the Trump supporter here and now. Especially that now it's been announced that there was no fraud, no malfeasance in Arizona. Here's his response to that.
Oh, no. No, please. Please, Cliff. Don't use my own voice. Oh, no. I don't want your 3 viewers to hear me. Could you be more of a pussy? You're so cringe, bro. I mean, you think you're this freedom fighter or a comic book character? I don't know what you think you are. You're nothing. You're nothing but a mall cop that someone felt sorry for because of your mental disability and gave you a job. No one's impressed by you. No one's scared of you. You're a joke.
Why'd you gotta throw comic book movies into this, motherfucker? Why'd you do that? See, I don't see myself as some freedom fighter or a superhero or anything else like that. He's probably saying that because my Facebook page is plastered with Captain America stuff on it. Because I do movie reviews of superhero films or any movies that I do on here on this page on YouTube. Here's the thing. I'm doing this because I don't want to go through the next another 4 years of Donald Trump ever again. And I'm not saying that it could be Donald Trump that could be the next Republican front runner or the next Republican candidate for president, because the next man could be 10 times worse. I don't want to go through this again. And for me being a mall cop, I'm just going to throw it out there. I used to be a security officer. I probably have a photo of me at one of my jobs 10, 20 years ago. But here's the thing. What really sickens me about this is this guy thinks he says he's a former Marine. This is how you support your country as a Marine? By letting it burn under Donald Trump's flames? That to me is cowardice in my view. But I'm not a bit surprised.
In fact, the only chance that you had at being relevant or entertaining or informative or having anyone watch anything you did was when I offered to debate you on the different amendments of the Constitution and why you hate them, and you turned me down. Or I offered to debate you on any topic and you turned it down. That's the only chance you had at anyone paying any attention to you. And that's why you won't leave me alone, because no one pays attention to you outside of me. Maybe your mom, but that's mostly just to get you to pick up the clothes off your floor because you still live at home when you're, 30? You're a loser.
Wow. This is just so freaking predictable. I mean, seriously? Wow, talking about my mother? Wow. Pathetic. That's all it is. And yes, he did offer to debate me, but honestly, I keep telling myself, stop debating with Trump supporters. But my philosophy on that is this. Arguing with Donald Trump supporters, especially right now, months into the Biden administration, not to mention a week or so, a few days or a week or so, or months after it was proven that Joe Biden won this election, it's like arguing with the sun. It'll do no good, and you'll come away burned because of it. But I did debate him once or twice by video call through Facebook Messenger, and it was a waste of fucking time. It wasted my time. It just wasted my time. And I don't need, and as far as everyone here on my YouTube page watching my videos, thank you. I don't care if I get only 3 views or 6 views or 150 views. Thank you all for sharing and watching my vids, because I have something of substance to say. This asshole has nothing of substance to say. It's all Trump 2024, Trump 2024. I wouldn't be surprised if he was in Washington, D.C. chanting, hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence. I wouldn't be surprised if he was there in Washington doing the same exact thing. And but the cracks about my mother, wow. That's pathetic. That's a bitch move in my view. But then, I am talking to a Trump supporter. But here's the thing. He repeatedly says here on Facebook Messenger that I hate the United States Constitution. And I keep asking him why. Because he says, I hate the First Amendment. Because I want people, here's the thing. I want people held responsible for what they say. that could do damage. Marriage Taylor Greene, the number one example. He hassled a kid who was in the middle of the Parkland shooting. She shouldn't be responsible for that? Donald Trump said, I don't know how many offensive things. I've lost count in the 4 years he was president. I really lost count. He shouldn't be held responsible? What if I yelled fire in a crowded theater and there was no fire? Should I be not held responsible for that? What if I threatened to kill someone on open Facebook or YouTube? Should I not be held responsible for that? See, rights in this country come with responsibility. What this guy and Trump and his Trumpers and the rest of these Republican scum want is all the rights with no responsibility. That's not what this country is about. It never was like that. Now, I use the Constitution, my rights, my freedoms on a daily basis. Every time I turn on a television, every time I make one of these videos, every time I put up a Facebook post, every day, I'm a big proponent of the Bill of Rights, of our United States Constitution, and why we must fight to protect those rights. Rights that people like Donald Trump, people like the Republicans, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Ted Cruz, Lauren Bobbitt, Bo Brooks, all these Republicans who are just so fuming, using voter fraud as an excuse to create laws that will restrict voting, particularly when it comes to citizens of color. Let's not fool each other on that. You want to protect the rights of people like Donald Trump, but what about the rights of some of the lowly black man, or the lowly black woman, or the Hispanic woman, or the Hispanic man, or the Muslim man? Oh, this is going to hurt them even much. Or the Muslim man, or the black, or the Muslim woman. You haven't even thought about that. You haven't even said 2 words. This man, here's the thing. This guy wants to scream about how he wants to make voting safer, voting 100% secure. What happens when those rights are being usurped by Republicans? He wants to talk about ID. Everyone who's voting has some form of ID, whether it's an ID card or driver's license or their social security card. So that dog won't hunt. But here's what really bothers me. When he says, I hate the Constitution, he says, I hate the First Amendment. I already went through that. He says, I hate the Second Amendment. No, I do not. I just believe we need tighter gun control, expanded background checks. There is no reason whatsoever that an ordinary citizen who never served a day in his life in the United States military should have an automatic rifle. No reason at all. That's why I'm saying. And I'm saying that because I am sick to death of picking up my remote control and seeing that another school or another mall or a theater or a football game somewhere has been shot up. And the only reaction I get from Donald Trump supporters or quote unquote, pro Second Amendment people, especially from people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who just released a commercial with a 50 caliber rifle saying she's going to blow away the liberal agenda, whatever the crap that means. See, that is the mentality of the Second Amendment people. They want to pull that out like some kind of get out of jail free card. Yeah, I shot some people, but I have a Second Amendment right, so you can't do nothing to me. That's what they're doing to my Constitution, and that's why I hate. You want freedom without responsibility. That is never, ever, ever going to happen. And for Donald Trump supporters like this asshole, it's time for them to get with the reality right now. Because reality this past week, with the announcement that there was no voter fraud in Arizona, reality just gave them a kick in the balls. And I told myself I wasn't going to laugh about that, but I'm laughing and I'm smiling. from ear to ear. I'm grinning because this is getting out of control. And I'm hoping this is the last time I have to make a video like this with this asshole's voice on it. Because it has just gotten completely out of control. And sooner or later, he's going to snap. Donald Trump supporters are already on that ledge. It's only a matter of pressure time. It's just a question of how much pressure it'll take for them to snap. And you know what's the worst part about it is? He's going to say that's all justified when they snap, saying that freedoms have been taken away by the Biden administration. I'm still doing this on YouTube. I'm still posting on Facebook. I'm still speaking my mind. So what freedoms exactly do you think are being taken away? I don't see any freedoms taken away from me. Now, some idiot's going to say because you're a conformist, you conformed to Joe Biden and the liberal, quote unquote, liberal agenda. No, I didn't. I believe in my country. I believe in freedom. I believe in freedom of choice. But if you're going to damn me for my choice when you made the wrong one that nearly destroyed this country 4 years ago because of man's greed, of his ineptitude, then maybe, just maybe, you're the one who needs to go back to college, pay attention this time when you go into your constitutional law class, and this time pay attention to what the laws and the Constitution are. Not your vague fantasy of a gun in every hand, a chick in every pot, a cap in every ass, a gun in every hand. Look at the Constitution and see what this country is really about. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.